Okay. So we are at Southampton Geek Retreat with Brandon Charles, who recently came top 4 at the Pool Regionals. So, why did you decide to play Eldlich, and how well did you do?
I decided to play Eldlich because I believe it has a really good matchup against most of the meta, especially Game 1. You should be winning most of your Game 1s even if you lose the dice roll. Game 2, Game 3 could be a bit shaky depending on what they open, but you play enough stuff on the side. This deck has an amazing matchup against Sword Soul, Virtual World, most meta decks. It just struggles with other control decks, and the mirror can be difficult depending on how good the pilot is, but I believe this was the right call for the meta at the moment, and I came fourth, so I think I made the right choice. Should I just get into the profile?
Yeah, go into the profile.
Okay, cool. I'll start with the main deck, obviously. So just move this over here. Slippery, yay. So we'll start off with double Golden Lord. There is an argument to play 1, you lose to it if it gets banished though. Playing 3 makes your grind game a little bit better, but you brick on it, you only want 2 is more than enough. I played the Dogmatika Eldlich build, so I'm playing 1 Ecclesia and 1 Fleur de Lis. The Fleur de Lis is in here because I'm actually only playing 1 Punishment, because I feel like you don't always need more and more and more back row. I really found like the Fleur de Lis comes up so much more than the second Punishment because it gives you an additional body to link summon, and Punishment locks you out the extra deck, which has actually cost me games in the past. And even if like they remove your Ecclesia before you can activate Fleur, it's still a 2500 body, and it has saved my life so many times. And then obviously one of the MVPs of the deck is 2 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This card literally won me so many games at regionals. It's insane. Like, I picked them up before they price spiked because I knew the card was going to be good, and I think this basically made Eldlich playable this format. It helps you Game 1 to get your engine rolling, Game 2, Game 3, it protects your back row from being blown out, and the only thing which actually beats you when you've got one is the evenly match, but you can, if you play the deck well enough, play through 2 evenly matches pretty easily. So that's it for the monsters. Move them over here. Moving on to spells. 2 Cursed Outland. There is an argument to play 3, again like Golden Lord, and this one I would say is more player preference. I never want to see more than 1, and I only want to really see this go in second. Going first though, it can help you, depending on how you draw, it can let you set up your whole Eldlich engine without using Sanguine. So if you open Sanguine plus Cursed Outland, you just pitch Sanguine, and then use Golden Lord's effect to send this, and let's say you got a Conquistador or Quack Arrow, it stops them ashing your Sanguine, which is a real issue for this deck. And it basically hard counters DPE. They are forced to pop their own stuff. If they pop this, you get advantage, and if they let Golden Lord's turn go through, they don't get the DPE effect. 3 Pot of Extravagance. Not much to say about this card. It's Banish 6, bait and Ash Blossom. If they don't Ash Blossom it, you win the game. 2 Pot of Duality, again, same thing, it's just extra consistency. My funniest Pot of Duality during the whole tournament actually was Pot of Extravagance into Pot of Duality, and then Pot of Duality into Skill Drain, Sanguine, and Imperial Order. My opponent quickly scooped that one. That was Dragon Link. I don't blame him. He was actually really tilted.
Ow.
And then to go with the Dogmatika package, we're obviously playing 3 Nadir Servant. I know there's a lot of people who don't like this card, and it used to be sided for when you go second, but because we're playing the Fleur de Lis, it gives you like a +1 in card advantage. So you get Ecclesia, and then Punishment, and then end phase of your Titaniclad, you get Fleur, which usually that's enough to stop your opponent winning the game half the time. That's a solid interruption. You can also go in second, send Entis, force a pot, and then, you know, I'll explain that more in the sideboard pattern, but this card was also MVP during the whole day. And then obviously we're playing Dogmatika Eldlich, which means we're playing a lot of traps, so I'll start off with 3 Scarlet Sanguine, 3 Conquistador. Is this still in frame?
Yes.
And then 2 Quack Arrow. There's not really much to say about this. These are very standard ratios at this point. I've tested 1 Quack Arrow, I've tested 2 Conquistador, 3 Quack Arrow. you have to play this ratio. It's amazing. I definitely found though, Curse Outland really helped me a lot because this deck does lose to Ash Blossom on Sanguine. It shuts off these, and if you draw multiple of these, it also hurts. But it's just that's kind of what you get when you're playing this deck. But to be honest with you, I got ashed half the tournament on Sanguine and still won, came fourth, so it's not that debilitating. And then for just traps in the deck, 3 Torrential Tribute, 3 Solemn Strike. If you know, you know, it's the hidden combo. It's insane. These won me so many games by themselves.
Also, side mention for the LON tributes.
Yeah, they're beautiful. 1 punishment, you search it off Ecclesia as part of the combo with Nadir Servant. I know people like to play 2 and 3 of this, and I do get it, but my issue with this card, it's hard once per turn, and it locks you out of your extra deck, which I've said, I do go in the extra deck a fair amount in this deck. I play it more as mid-range rather than control, and it's really helped me a lot. To beat a lot of people who, you know, look at an Eldlich player and think, oh, they're just Eldlich player, they don't do much except set 5 powers. But it's still an amazing card. It comes in clutch when it has to, and the double pop usually wins you the Sword Soul matchup. And then, talking about Sword Soul, Ice Dragon Prison, this card's also absolutely bonkers. I'm upset it's a once per turn, but if it wasn't, card would be absolutely broken. It deals with DPE like Cursed Outland does. It deals with everything, to be honest with you. Card's nuts, we all know. And then going on to Floodgates, 2-dimensional barrier, 3 goes in match, and then skill drain Imperial Order. So we all know what this card does. It basically says no to Sword Soul, Bird Art, Fountain Knights, anything. Card's broken, there's not much to say. Goes in match, I know a lot of people play there can only be 1, but I found in testing, and I've been testing this deck for a couple of months for this event, that TC Boo actually really conflicts your Eldlich engine, and it hurts you more than it hurts your opponent sometimes. And I got really tired of being locked out of my Eldlich traps to stop my engine rolling, and that's where you win the game. You just win through grinding. And Goes in Match hits most of the format the same. It's not as good against Phantom Knights or Dragon Link, but they both go into Levier as part of their combo, and Romulus, respectively, so you lock them into wins, and it's just basically just as good as there can only be 1. Your opponent, if they go ball play around it, but you slide it out at that point. If they're bad, you keep it in because it's 3 wins. And then these 2, obviously, MVPs. This won me so many games. This won me my round 5, round 6, which was insane. The card needs to be banned. This card's alright.
Don't forget to show off the dual terminal though.
I did.
No, you did.
Right, so moving on to the extra deck. This is another controversial choice. 2 Entis. Because we only play 1 punishment, we don't really need 3, and if you banish them off Entis, it's not the end of the world. You've got extra stuff in the extra deck to send. This didn't come up as much as I thought it was going to, but it still won me games when it needed to.
Oh, you mean Extravagance, not Entis?
Yeah. 1 Titaniclad, Ash Dragon. Card's insane, you do it as part of the new combo, +2, get your Fleur de Lis, win the game. And then your other Nadir targets are Cyphering, Lord Omega, and Wind Pegasus Ignista. This is really, really good at sniping stuff in your opponent's graveyard. I really like using this in the Sky Striker matchup to return their Ray after I banish their Engage of Quackero. Because it basically stunts their entire engine, and it just allows you to win matchup from all 3. This I'm actually thinking of replacing. It never comes up. Every time I get it to the graveyard, they play around it, and I don't think it's that good, but I know why people play it. So that might become something else. 2 Pleiades. This was meant to be a second liner, the Illustrious Light Charmer, but they didn't come in time for the event, so I just played 2 Pleiades. Won me my game against Virtual Sword Soul, but that's the only time I used it. Card's broken though, it's a great card, play it. Gustav Max and Lieb. There's a combo with Gustav Max where if you've got 2 Golden Lords, you overlay this into Gustav, detach burn 2000 and use Golden Lord's Graveyard effect, that's over 8000 damage. Didn't come up once during the tournament, and this you're meant to throw it over the top, but to be honest with you, it's only in here for as a punishment target, and I've only summoned it once in my entire 2 months of playing this deck. Don't think the card's that good. Your 2-link Spider, it links off your traps. It allows you to get your Eldlich engine rolling. It's a pretty good card. This card, Liner, the Light Charmer Illustrious, is a dumb card. Like, one of my favourite interactions is against the invoked Dogmatika matchup, is stealing their Ecclesia out of graveyard and then using it to search for the Eldlich, so then I can turn off Mechaba if they didn't Mechaba negate this. Or if I've already outed the Mechaba, I get the Fleur de Lis or Punishment, it's free value, link it off, and then going into other things in the extra deck. It's won me so many games in the past. Didn't really come up at regionals, though I didn't play any Invoke, sadly. Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn. I know Triff plays the Cerberus over the Unicorn as part of the little combo where you draw 2, discard 2, get 2 pops, and then an access code talker combo. It's really, really good, but I could never get it up in a game state for me. And there's so many times where Unicorn has just come up and it's won me the game because I've been able to shuffle away a problematic card. And Phoenix, the Phoenix is Phoenix, but none of them came up during the regional. And then Access Code Talker is Access Code Talker. There's not much to say, but it didn't come up once, but it's come up a lot in testing. Moving on to the side deck. So, 3 Lava Golem, card's insane, Tribute over Sword Soul boards, Tribute over Drytron board, Tribute over any board, it wins you the game. Lord of the Heavenly Prison. The reason the third one's in the side deck is because you don't want the third one in the main deck, because it's not as impactful. But Game 2, Game 3, where everyone starts hiding in their back row hate, the card's insane. It protects you, it gets you into your Eldlich engine, it gets you into Nadir Southern, it gets you into Scarlet Sanguine, it gets you into Conquistador, Huaquero, basically whatever you need. I did set IDP off it, Ice Dragon's Prison, a couple of times to deal with people who pop my Golden Lords, fearing the Huaquero, and got rid of DPE that way. Great card, but side deck the third. Harpy's Feather Duster and Heavy Storm Duster. This is all the Mirror Match, Altergeist, Guru, any back row deck, and Sky Striker, because these really blow out that matchup and make it so much easier. Because you get to answer the multi-roll, you get to answer their Shark Cannons on their turn. And then this obviously is just an amazing top deck, but didn't come up once during the tournament. Again, Evenly Match, it's an amazing card, this format. I know people are starting to swap off it, but when you're playing the Dogmatika build, you pair it with stuff like Lava Golem, Nadir Servant, sending Entis, and Golden Lord, so that's 3, 6, 9, 11 ways of just like breaking your opponent's board. And let's say they summon Baron de Fleur, so you're just trying to bait it, and then you just off Evenly Match. They don't normally have anything to deal with it. Because I know it's like a lot of people don't side Solemns in against me, which I think is incorrect, but I have seen Solemn. And then if you draw the second one, it doesn't matter, they have to draw the second Solemn, and even if they do that, then you just win anyway, because they're at 2,000 eye points. 3 Solemn Judgment, side it in going first. I may start siding it in going second, because my first 3 rounds, my opponents made me go second, trying to do the little debate where you get the control player to side going second, and I only lost a game once to that. It was really, really annoying, to be honest with you, but I didn't really feel like I needed it, but I might change up my side decking pattern. And then MVP in all testing, it didn't come up at regionals, which I'm annoyed, a lot of my testing didn't come up, is Witch's Strike. So I don't know if a lot of people know what this card does, so I'll read it out. If your opponent negates the normal or special summon of a monster, or the activation of a card or effect, destroy all cards your opponent controls and in their hand. So basically, if you negate anything, I'm ripping your entire hand, which in this deck is absolutely huge, because you put your opponent on whatever they've got in graveyard, and then they can't play against set 5 pass. You basically win the match. And I guess I'll move on to Side Deck Theory next, and then I'll go on about my matchups. And then Shoutouts. So side deck theory, like I've already gone over. Like you side these in, go in second. Always side those in, go in second. This, and then depending on the matchup, you can side this, all come up, and then these are mainly for Sword Soul Invoked, Solemns, and then going first, you side out your pots, whatever you feel is weak. So I side out Torrentials going second, and I'll side out the third strike if I need more room, and then going first, take out your going second cards, put back in your going first cards, and just the free judgments. Don't main deck this card seriously. It's really bad in the main deck, but you need it game 2 and game 3. There's not really much to say about this deck. It has a really good Sword Soul matchup, as I said. It's a very, very strong deck, this format. I feel like it's underrepresented, and I think if more people picked it up and learned how to play it properly, rather than just flip trap it whenever, this could easily be a tier 1.5 deck. And I think it will get better and better as the format goes on. But if Flunder get good, I don't think you play this deck anymore, but I beat my only Flunderese player during the whole tournament, so I'll go on out of my matchups now. Round 1, I had Dragon Link. That was a Swift 2-0. I told you about the Potter Duality. He wasn't happy. Fun note as well, on his Pega ruler, he milled Red Reboot and Harpy's Featherstorm, and he just looked like he was ready to quit the game, which was pretty funny. Shout outs to him for making me laugh. What did I have round 2? I had Sword Soul, DPE. That was a 2-1. This deck has a really easy matchup against it. He opened really broke one game and I just couldn't beat it, it's whatever, and then I just took full control of the other game I could win. Round 3, I had Virtual World Sword Soul. I made a minor misplay, which did cost me the game. I didn't Dimensional Barrier in time for getting Zeus can chain on itself because I was like still waking up, to be honest with you. I got up at 6 AM to travel. So that cost me game 2, but game 3 it was again the same thing, just took full control of the game. Round 4 was my only loss, and it was to Ryan Nye playing Orcust, DPE in our Lord and Saviour of 2022. And we were both on the top table. There were several YCS top Nats players. So we had Mother Grizzly Luke. We had quite a few of them actually. Shout out to him as well. And we were just on table 1. And he beat me top deck in Harpy's Featherstorm game 2, and then game 3. He dashes summon Girsu when my only interruption was to set Solemn, and then I couldn't stop it, and he just played through my entire board because he got the Girsu dump and there was nothing I could do. So shout out to him, he came second, really good player. Round 5 I had Sky Striker. I bricked game 1, game 2 he bricked, game 3 I opened Imperial Order, GG, easy. And then round 6, I had Flunderese. Game 1, I flipped Imperial Order. He scooped up right away, but I already knew what he was playing. Game 2, I made a misplay, forgetting that the spell contribute your set cards. So I had double Gozen match set, and he was trying to out one. So what I should have done is Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3. On his things, Gozen match, and then on resolution, activate Lord, set Nadir, to force him to tribute off the Nadir servant, so he's still locked under Gozen match, but I didn't, I waited until resolution, so I coughed up that game. And then game 3, Imperial Order saved me. It was getting a really close grinding game. I wasn't sure if I was going to win. Imperial Order did do Imperial Order things, so that was my tournament report. I would play this deck again 110%. I think it's a great mid-range deck / control deck, and I think it is underrepresented, and I guess I'll move on to shout-outs. Camera cut out, so my shout-outs go to Steph and Geek Retreat Southampton. I got back in the game in November after taking a several year break, so they were very welcoming, very, very nice, and got me back into the swing of things. Shout out to all the players at Geek Retreat Southampton being really welcoming. getting me back up to speed, and to Rob Smith, who played Dinos at Chichester, who came 7th, so that's 2 tops at our locals, which is nice. Shout out to Wayne from Nerd World, he's a really cool player, great tournament organiser. Shout out to Brian Nye, he's the one who sat down and tested with me for God knows how long, like so many hours, making sure I knew the deck interactions inside and out, and giving me the confidence boost I needed. Shout out to my lovely partner who's doing the deck profile with me and has been really supportive of me the entire time. And then shout out to my old locals lot who I saw down at Pool. It was an amazing time. It's just like seeing my old friends again. Very welcoming. And then to the general Yu-Gi-Oh community as well for being like a really good community. And then my last shout out has to be to the sausage bap I had before round 1, which was like just the perfect amount of food to keep me going throughout the day. But yeah, that's my shout outs. I hope you enjoy the deck profile. Any questions, I'm sure you can leave them in the comments. I'll try to keep an eye on it. But yeah, have a happy New Year's and have a fun time.